Awesome. So just a little bit of a warning. There's some construction going on somewhere in the building. I'm not 100% sure what's happening, but if you hear power drill, that's what's going on in this module. So, hey, nice to see you guys. Super excited. Today, we're actually going to break down a little bit more about approaching your job as a partnership and then using that as a way to get the exact work that you desire from either your employer, for the marketplace, whatever it is that you do, you want to get the exact position you desire. This is something that's going to extend a little bit more from the secret formula, and also using specificity in the arguments that you make both for yourself and to life to really create the sort of atmosphere that you want for your future, which is really, really important, and it's going to reinforce the importance of that specificity. So with that said, let's go over, jump to the computer, and we'll make it happen. All right, cool. So how to get the exact position you desire in any field of business or work or industry. There's always tons of stuff to choose. So the first step really is to figure out, decide, right? You've got to make a decision. Just like when you guys created your overarching long-term goal with your secret formula, like what I asked you to do in that video is I asked you to make a decision to stick to a path, a decision to pick a path to create the wealth you desire, a decision to figure out the wealth you desire, a decision to make the time frame of the wealth you desire. A lot of decisions, all right? Now your goal here is to stick with those decisions so that you can prove to yourself that you make stuff happen. So once you have that understood, you're gonna decide exactly what kind of job you want, decide what job, exactly, right? Decide what job. Exactly. If the job doesn't already exist, create it, make it happen. You can be a graphic designer for plum modification, like anything you want to do. It's there. If it provides value to the marketplace, you can go out there and crush it. You got people on YouTube like Fred, it just sits there and screams. He got signed with like Nickelodeon or something to make TV shows. The guy just decided the job he wanted, and because of that, he got exactly what he wanted. Think about that. It's so powerful. Today's day and age, you can make anything you want happen. If you put your mind towards it, and you have complete and total belief in it. What the mind can believe, conceive and believe, it can achieve, right? Biggest thing to take away from this, all right? Cool, number 2. Choose the company, the individual for whom you want to work. So maybe if you're delivering product or service in a marketplace, right? Who is your ideal boss as for like a job, or like client for bringing people into the marketplace? I know, I feel like I haven't talked about this at all on here, and it's so weird because it's super important. But you guys remember Jay Abraham from that last module? He has this thing he does where he will never use the word customer, and I will never use the word customer either. Hate it, terrible. Customer, right, is somebody who is buying a commodity. And you don't want to be a commodity. You don't want your goods and services to be a commodity. You don't want anything about you to be a commodity because you're special and you're delivering a superior value in the marketplace. And when you use the word client, what you imply is that somebody is under your care. And that's why I'll always use the word client over customer. This is something that I've kind of hidden away just to this deeper in modules, because I want to give it to the people that are really committed, which would obviously be you. Yeah, use client over, just erase the word customer from your vocabulary. And this is something he talks about so much in his podcast, and obviously his book, How to Get Everything You Can Out of All You've Got, or Getting Everything You Can Out of All You Got. I don't even know if I can fit the title on here because it's so freaking big. He does an amazing job. Out of all you've got, oh my God, so good. So I'll link that review to below. But one distinction that came up here that I feel like I just really need to give to you guys is use the word client for the people that you work with, or the business partners that you have, or the people that you sell stuff to. They are never, I don't care if you're selling a sandwich at Subway. All right? Those are clients. Those are not customers. Because if you use that word client, all of a sudden, when somebody walks in the door, they are so much happier. They're like, whoa, wow, I'm getting a whole new level of service that's ridiculous ridiculously higher than what I was used to before. And you want to make people believe that like they're getting a higher level of service, they will act in a way that they're getting a higher level of service. You will treat them in the way that they're getting a higher level of service, and therefore you will create a higher level of service and value. That's powerful. Rewind, listen to that again. That is killer information. That could be a module all by its own. It's not, because I'll tell you what, I'm giving to the people that are putting in the work, that are special and are coming in here on these later modules and really getting in that grind, which is awesome. You guys are the freaking best. Again, credits to Jay Abraham, getting everything you can of all you've got. That is his principle, his idea. It is amazing. It'll change the way that you interact with the people that you work with, especially if you sell goods. I don't even care if you're doing e-commerce. Like if you're just selling stuff online, I do that too. And I'll probably talk more about it in the general membership area. Like there's not a word customer on my website. It's always client. Here's what our clients are saying. Even if I'm selling like a $5 item, client, these are clients you are dealing with. Doesn't matter who you are, doesn't matter what you're selling, doesn't matter what your service is, doesn't matter if you're going to a job and you're thinking about the people that the company serves. Every single person there is a client, no matter who you talk to. So with that said, let's go over to number 3. Study your prospective employer as to policies, personnel, and chances of advancement. So understand, right, this is just like with investments, right? Understand your upside. So if you're working at like a company, maybe it's you want to understand like what's the corporate ladder, for the company, and how high can you go? You know, can you become the CEO? Can you become the vice president? Are you starting off as an accountant? Are you starting off, or maybe you want to become the lead accountant? You know, figure out, you know, like what can you freaking do here? You know, in any situation, right? It doesn't have to be a job. Maybe it's, you know, you're online and you're like thinking about your business, right? And like, how can you scale it? Like, how high can I scale this business? Can I make, you know, can I serve 10,000 people a month? Or can I only serve 100 people a month? And if I can only serve 100 people a month, why is that? Right? And understand what's stopping you from 10xing, what's stopping you from 100xing, what's stopping you from growing to serve significantly more people, right? If you can serve more people, have bigger impact, create more value, that's going to create a bigger upside for you. Same thing in the stock market, right? If you're thinking about like options versus stocks, which is something we talk about a whole bunch over in the general membership area, and also just in like chapter 21 of 9 to noon. I think that's chapter, don't hold me to it, but I believe in it. I think that was chapter. You know, the point with that was like, you got to understand your upside, you have to understand your downside, and make sure that you have the biggest upside possible with whatever it is you're doing. That's why, you know, there are amazing investments I can make every single day, but I'm tight on cash flow. I got to pick the right stuff, and be concise and be very specific. I got to make very strong investments. So I will not take trades that I know maybe they'll make 5%, but it'll take me like half a year to make that. And I'm like, dude, that's just not worth it. I understand that there's insane, like it's guaranteed profit. I might do an options trade on it if I can get very cheap, you know, risk 3 cents, make $1. That's very powerful. That's a high upside. You want to look for high upside. And if you can find high upside, you can go out there and freaking crush it, which is awesome. So cool. So with that said, let's go over number 4. By analysis of yourself, your talents and capabilities, work out of what you can offer and plan ways and means of giving advantages, services, developments, and ideas that you believe you can successfully deliver. Guys, this is huge. Offer more. Increase value. Look, if you're seriously struggling and maybe you're working at a job and you want to make more money, like instead of going to your boss's office and asking for a raise after you've done the same thing over and over for month after month after month, think of how you can do something new. Think of how you can do something different, add more value, create more revenue for the company, and then ask for a raise. And it's like, no shoot, right? You think about like the pay scales of massive CEOs. CEOs getting paid, I don't know, like millions and millions. Like this guy freaking, he got a 1.5 billion yearly bonus. Now, why do you think he got that much money? Well, he was managing a hedge fund. What did he do for the hedge fund? He made the hedge fund $10 billion. If you can just make more money for the company, increase the value that you bring to the table, it's like no shoe. Of course you can have that much money. Of course, it's pennies on the dollar, right? CEO of Disney, millions and millions and millions of dollars per year. You know why? Because he makes the company hundreds of millions of dollars. It's pennies on the dollar. Increase the amount of value that you could bring with new ideas, right? New advantages, new services, new developments. All right, you don't have to be the CEO of a company to come up with an idea that you think can successfully deliver value to the marketplace and then implement it. All you have to do is think of something, say, you know what, I think this is a good idea, and then freaking do it. See if it works, and if it works, say, hey, look, I just did this thing. It made the company, you know, X much money. I would like a raise, please. Or if you're working for yourself, right, and you just implement this stuff for your own business, you're just making more money. Like, that's it. Like, you just ask the marketplace for a raise by delivering more value. So powerful. I was doing this at Subway, right? At Subway, you know, I'd worked there for like 4, 5, 6 months, and, you know, they started needing new employees, and there were 2 people that ran the place, and they were training everybody, and I was like, hey, look, just let me come in. I'll train everyone for you, and just don't sweat it. So I just freaking did it, and just started training people, right? And then the people I was training started asking for raises. And I was like, look, I'm training new people. I was working, you know, like 10, 12, 15-hour shifts alone, running the store solo mente. And I was like, look, can you guys give me some kind of raise here? They gave me, you know, a 25-cent raise to $7.50 an hour on minimum wage. Which was, you know, it was great. It was awesome. You know, it's so, I don't know. So yeah, you know, you just think about how you can deliver more value to people, and then just deliver that value and ask for, you know, the return or the raise or the gratis after the fact, and that's how you grow and grow and grow. And if you become, you know, usually people aren't gonna, especially if you're in a company, they're not gonna let you become like an incremental part. But if you can be like a key piece, you know, jobs are usually, it's tough to, you know, achieve significant financial freedom. Just working, usually you want to be able to invest your capital, make your money work for you. But you can freaking do a really, really nice job if you can just deliver more and more value in another person's machine and make their machine much more powerful. Then same thing, right? Take the money you earn, create your own machine, create your own business, create your own investments, just like we talk about over in the general membership area, right? Getting you to that point where you're investing, getting you to the point where you're trading, getting you to the point where you're doing whatever you're passionate about to create massive influxes of wealth. For me, that's 9 to noon trading. I just freaking love it. It's awesome. So yeah, really cool stuff. And just increase your position size and you'll be able to make more money, right? That's how the stock market works. That's why it's so scalable, so amazing. I love it. It's awesome. So with that said, let's go over number 5. Forget about a job. Forget whether or not there is an opening. Forget the usual routine of, have you got a job for me? Concentrate on what you can give. Guys, this is the same thing we just talked about, right? Concentrate on what you can give. Focus on the value you can deliver to the marketplace, to the employer, to the group you work in. Make sure that you're giving it all you've got before you ask about, you know, a better job or a new opening. And even if you're just trying to like get the job, right? Instead of focusing on, hey, do you have an opening, or are you looking for someone with my skills? Go to them and say, look, I made this plan. It's about 3 pages. It's what I think would be an amazing way to grow your company, an amazing way to generate more revenue. If you like it, I would love to come and help you implement it, you know, at no cost. Let me work for the first week at gratis, and we'll see if we can make these results happen. Like, go to any company and say that. There is 0 chance that you would not get hired there. Like, you're giving so much at the beginning. That's why it's really important to develop, you know, these skills, these entrepreneurial skills where you're like delivering value. Because value, you know, you give value, you're gonna get money. It's just getting in the right situation so you're able to give the value and translate that into the money that you want to fulfill your desires, you know, get your overarching long-term goal crushed, and use that as a way to just concentrate more and more, right? Because after you get it done, after you get the money, you want to give more and more value. You want to give and give and give and give. And that's how you scale, that's how you grow. It's all by delivering more to new clients and also existing clients. I think I can probably fit number 6 here. Let's make it happen. Number 6. Once you have your plan in mind, arrange with an experienced writer to help you put it on paper in neat form and in full detail, right? So what I just tell you guys, right? Write out your plan. And maybe if you need to if you need help with somebody who's a really, really good writer and you want them to help you out write your plan out, super cool, do that, whatever floats your boat. But put it on paper, put the ink to the pen to the paper, say, look, this is how it's going to happen. It's going to be amazing. This is the value it's going to deliver. Here's step 1. Here's step 2. Give them like a 5-step plan. If you give these guys a 5-step plan and say, look, this is what I want to do, would you let me come and do it for you? Like, yeah, they're going to be like, yeah, that's freaking awesome. Same thing too, if you're planning, your own growth, your own project in the marketplace. I remember right after I finished writing 9 to Noon, like I had all the text done and it was just amazing. Everything was good. It was like Christmas Eve, right? It was my Christmas Eve was my deadline. And then I was doing, the works cited. I realized like 2 or 3 weeks before that, like, whoa, I might actually need like a works cited. I was like, what? Whoa, right? So I spent the next 2 weeks, right? And I basically just like went hard 16 hours a day, like every day, just doing these works cited. And what I would do is I'd write out my plan. So I'd have like daily plan, weekly plan, right? And I decided, look, in the next 2 weeks, I need to do, like 30 plus chapters of citations. I need to do I was gonna do about four chapters a day, right? 4 chapters a day, and I had more proofreading and editorial stuff to do. I was like, look, if I'm gonna do 4 chapters a day, I need to break it down. So I'm gonna do 1 to 4. I'm gonna do 5 to 8, right? 5 to 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, I can count. I can count, guys. I'm telling you, I can count. Then I do like 9 to 12. And then it's 13 to 16, right? Bam, bam. You just go all the way down until you get to the end, right? So it's just a bunch of chapters. And so I realized that, like, look, I just have to get on the grind and freaking make it happen. So day 1, you start off with the plan. The plan says do annotations for chapters 1 to 4. So I would go through chapters 1 to 4, and I'd be like, okay, what did I write about on this day? Okay, this is what I wrote about. Where did I get these sources from? Okay, this is where I got these sources from. Then I would find, all of my sources. And it was tough because I wrote those chapters, freaking, I don't know, about half a year ago, right? So I was really had to stretch, but you make it happen. And after you make it happen, you're golden, right? And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. You got 14 days to make it happen. Some of these chapters were really freaking long, so I had to squeeze them in after the next day. I'm telling you, I was staying up till midnight doing these things. But at midnight, I needed to pass because I was going to wake up at 4 the next day, do the same thing. So you got to stick to the plan, adapt to the plan, and what I didn't do is I didn't just say, oh, I'm just going to do 4 chapters a day. No, can't do that. I wrote, here, I'm going to write this in green. This is important. I wrote out the plan. And so it was on my desk right in front of me saying, look, today's the day. I need to do chapters 5 to 8. Today's the day. I need to do 17 to 20. And so if I was like passing out like in the middle of the midnight and I was like done with 19, I needed to do 20, like, you know what? You'll do 20 tomorrow. Make it freaking happen. All right? But only reason you're able to do that is because you can scratch this out and say, look, we're doing 20 today. You can write out the plan, right? Wrote out the plan, and I was able to make changes as needed on a physical basis. There's such an amazingly powerful change that happens when instead of just changing your plan in your head, you actually change it with the ink on the paper. And it shows physically that there's been a change in place. You need to adapt to that change. You need to grow from it. And that's so powerful. And that's why it's ridiculously important that you write out your plan. So important. So cool. Hopefully, I think I can do this. This is going to be good. So number 7. Present it to the proper person with authority to make the decision. Every company is looking for people who can give something of value, whether it's ideas, services, or connections. Every company has room for the person who has a definite plan of action to advantage of the company. This line of procedure may take a few days or weeks of extra time, but the difference in income, in advancement, and in gaining recognition will save years of hard work at low pay. It has many advantages, the main one being it will often save from 1 to 5 years of time in reaching a certain goal. Remember, if you come in with a plan and you say, look, this is exactly what I want to do. I'm going to crush it for you guys. I mean, like, would it not make sense to give you a more executive managerial position? Would it not make sense to give you an instant raise? Would it not make sense, maybe if you're delivering value to the marketplace, to buy your high-end product up front? Every person who starts or gets in halfway up the ladder does so by deliberately and carefully planning. Except the boss's son, right? So you just gotta remember, if you're anybody, trying to come in, trying to break in, the best way to just hack that success and say, look, instead of just going and going and going, I'm gonna freaking start here, dude. You do that with a plan. And, number 7 is present your plan to a decision maker. You wanna make sure that you're in front of the right people, because you don't want to spend all this time and effort making this plan and give this huge, like hour-long presentation about the amazing things your plan is going to do. All of a sudden to realize that, look, this guy you just talked to for like half an hour, he actually can't give you a promotion and start you off higher. You need to talk to his boss. And maybe you need to talk to the boss's boss, because these guys are going to be blown away because nobody does this, right? So if you come up with a plan, you're going to be so unique that you are going to break their interviewing system, and you might have to talk to someone that's higher than the normal interviewer, right? It depends on how big the company is and how many people are there, obviously. But what you're doing is you're fundamentally shifting the amount of value that you give. And by changing that value proposition, all of a sudden, more value means more money for you. And now, more money, higher position, higher status, higher growth rate, higher growth potential. We talked about this earlier, guys. This guy did this exact thing. He was able to take a position that would take someone 10 years to get to. He got to it in a year and a half. Half a year even. With one of his first promotions, which was crazy. It was all because he gave this ridiculous amount of value. And I want you guys to apply this to both, if you're working at a job, that's awesome. Also apply it to your business, right? Or investing. If you apply this to a business, you apply this to investing, write out an amazing plan, then act on that plan. That's how I started Monero ads, right? That's how I started every company I have, is I freaking wrote out a plan. And then you stick to that plan, you make it happen, you hold yourself accountable, you set, reasonable deadlines. I know if you guys have read, talked about it earlier, the one thing, and then using your overarching long-term goal to create subsequent shorter-term goals. I'll link the book review below. That's really powerful. I'm a little bit out of room to write, but the one thing is one of those things that really helped me. It's one of those things. It's killer for breaking down that overarching long-term goal into very specific and applicable medium-term, short-term goals, and then having those get accomplished so you can work towards that overarching image you have for yourself, your life, or even just develop it to start, really forming and knowing exactly where you want to be in the future, which is awesome. That's how you create that financial future, financial freedom, security you want, whatever you desire. It's all based on the income you can do by facilitating the fulfillment of those overarching long-term goals to deliver value to the marketplace. Really powerful stuff here, guys. I hope you got a ton of value from it. Hope you enjoyed this module. Super amazing stuff. And go out there, get the exact position you desire. Do exactly what you want to get you from where you are to that overarching long-term goal you want to get to through the secret formula. Super powerful stuff, guys. Keep going hard on it. Twice a day, read those goals, meditate, crush it, be amazing. I will see you guys in the next module. Thank you so much.